Hey, Dylan. Hang on a second. Yo! It's Aiken and Dylan. How we doing today? I hope we're doing really good. Let's change this camera. Let's do this. Alright. There you see my screen. Why am I doing this? The wrong screen. Shoot. I got the other screen. Yo, Yusuf! Yusuf, look at this! We got the full complement of people coming out here. Shoot, dude. How you guys doing today? Dylan, I'm doing wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Today is the very final class here for the semester for Math 102, but more importantly, let's move on to more important things. Move on to more important things, ladies and gentlemen. Aiken, Dylan, Yusuf. Today and yesterday, day of celebration. Okay, we move up. Promotion. Promotion, ladies and gentlemen, promotion. That's what I'm talking about. We're at the 8th tier. You can't go wrong. You get promoted to step 4. That is unbelievable. That is a lot of W's. Promoted. Heck yeah. Promoted, ladies and gentlemen. Promoted. Hashtag United promoted. Yes. Even. Oh, you hashtag United. Oh, man. I was super happy to see that news when I woke up. Woo. 87 firstie. Yes. Yes. Very nice. Very nice. Yes. Congratulations, firstie. Will be next year. Yeah, we're going to move up next year. Got better competition, but even better. We got even a better squad. It's amazing. Cool Dad, good morning to you. Good morning. My beard is coming back. Yes, my beard comes back in a rather quick fashion. Too bad the top of my head. Come slower, you know? That's right. The hype train, ladies and gentlemen. The hype train is here. The hype train is here. Hashtag is moving up. Moving up the ranks. Okay? 100%. Once that new kit comes out, I am buying that kit. Okay? I am 100% buying that kit. Okay? You gotta come out. You gotta come out and support. You gotta come out and rally the troops together. Get all the super fans. I don't know how much it's gonna be. But whatever the price is going to be, I'm going to go get my third shirt. My third shirt, my third kit for hashtag United. You know, if it's 40 euros, that's a small price to pay. I already have 2 in my closet. I can add a third one. That's not a problem. Anna, hello. Good morning to you, Anna. I can't believe this, Anna. Cool Dad, if you can believe this. It is the very last class of the semester. We have made it to the very end. I can't believe it. It's unbelievable. I wanted to get one, but it was out of stock for months. Yeah, you know what? It's been out of stock. It gets out of stock very quickly. I always request for the biggest shirt because I'm a big dude, because I'm big and fat. But that's just how it is, you know. I ain't got a kit yet, but look, man. Go get a home kit. Not gonna go wrong with the nice orange, not orange, a yellow and blue home kit. People think yellow is orange. Kind of weird. But anyway. Let me tell you. I don't know what you think, Anna and Cool Dad and Firstie and everyone. I don't know what you guys think. Today is a crazy. I have so much fun. Let me tell you, Dylan, I wish that was true, but I am more fat than muscle in reality. Alright? I got plenty of pounds to spare. There's no muscle on this body whatsoever. I can guarantee that. Most amount of exercise that I do is I walk over to the fast food place, come collect an order, and there you go. You got yourself a winner. See, if I stand up here for just a moment, I got the big little um little pooch here, Boop. So let me tell you. I wish I had any muscle left in my body, but I am so far out of shape it's not even funny. Is a baby coming? I carry a food baby with me at all times, Dylan. Yusuf, you have yourself a good one. You take care of yourself. Hydrate says Anna, absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. Thank you very much, Anna, for the hydrate. Yeah, is this as asked earlier about this being the I will be streaming again. You had a question, of course, cool dad. Questions are okay by me. Oh, Anna ask a question, of course. Anna can go ahead and ask a question. Anybody can ask a question, but she redeemed some points, so ask away any questions you may have. Absolutely. Absolutely, please. Do I still have the horse drawing from my algebra class from last semester? I don't know if I do. Oh, Dylan says posture check. Okay. I don't remember if I do have the horse drawing or not. The horse drawing was pretty awful. I'm pretty sure the videos somewhere around here are probably on a clip or something. I don't know. I would yeah, that horse drawing, let me tell you. I'm guessing it's on a clip somewhere, Anna. That horse drawing was that horse drawing was awful from last semester. Is the grade that's reflected in my math lab under gradebook pretty much our final grade? No, not necessarily. Because different things have different weights. That's why, cool dad. So what you'll find underneath D2L once I update that after 11:59 p.m. tonight will be your actual final grade. So that is not a complete representation of it may give you a ballpark estimate, but it won't be your actual final grade until I put all the weights in and everything like that, according to the syllabus, and then you'll have your final grade ready and waiting for you, broken down piece by piece on D2L. That's my plan tonight. My plan tonight is to get that done so you guys can see the breakdown of your grades ASAP. So you don't have to be like, what did I get? And be like, bro, it's on D2L. So oh, right. Let's not forget. One more thing I gotta do here really quick. So let's do this let's go ahead and do this here really quick. Right. Let's do some intros here. And then we'll get started here. Hang on a second. Gotta clap harder. Yeah, there you go. The hardest clap. Okay, let's get started today. Welcome back to Wednesday and the very final class of the semester. All right, I hope everybody is doing absolutely outstanding today. I hope everybody is doing absolutely outstanding today. This is the final class. This is the final question and answer session. As I've already gotten a couple questions here, but I wanna take a little time out here for just a moment to everybody who's listening on the stream, regardless if you are actually in my class or not. These past 4 months, have been a very special 4 months. I first want to thank everyone here is on the stream, from hashtag, my students, to everyone else in between, who have come here and made this stream a very special place for this past 4 months for this class. Whether I'll be streaming future classes, don't get me wrong. So that's still not going to change. I'll be back in the summertime and I'll be back in the fall. But I would say that the amount of memories and the amount of crazy things that have happened here, starting at 11 o'clock on Mondays and Wednesdays for the past 4 months, has been the most unusual time here that I've had on Twitch. We always have crazy times, but I don't know. Somehow this semester felt like it took it to another level. Like it made it feel really special, and I have all of you to thank for that. You guys make me feel really special. You guys make me feel really really good at the end of the day. I'm hopefully making a positive impact for you at the end of the day. Even though math is not the most bearable subject in the whole wide world, I've gotten a lot of great feedback from you guys saying, yeah, it's actually a decent subject. It's actually doable. It's actually bearable, to actually, spend 4 months doing something that you may or may not want to do for the rest of your lives. It's perfectly understandable from my point of view. And I'm glad that at least you had a lot of fun while you're doing it, and at least hopefully it made an impact in some way, whether it be minuscule or whether it be a large one. I can't thank you enough for at least participating and wanting to be part of that. So I want to thank you all again for being a part of this experience, whether you wanted to or not. You're now a part of this experience. It's almost like I forced you. But wait, you paid me the money. So I wanted to thank you all first and foremost for being part of this stream, for coming class after class after class, for being the people who you are. I'm really proud to have known all of you here these past 4 months in class, or heck, I'm even proud to know some of you even off stream here and getting to talk to you. It's trust me, I'm not going away. So, but I'm really happy to just having the experience of just being able to talk with you and get to know you all. So I'll be here for you as much as much as you have been there for me. And I really appreciate all that you have done for me. All the positive vibes, all the good all the good laughs and all the good memories. I hope you take that away from you from this class, and I hope that it becomes something you can grow upon. My brother is taking AP stats next semester. He's like, you'll be able to help me. I'm like, no, I won't be able to. The formulas will follow me. Thank you, cool dad. That's really super kind of you to say. That's super kind of you to say. If nothing else, even if you flush the stats ideas out of your system once you're done, I just hope that at least this class hopefully is the difference to the norm that you may get in a normal college course. I want you to at least take that away from you, as hopefully you can, that's exactly what I'm hoping for. Hopefully it sticks with you, and be sometimes crazy stories to tell. I have a lot of people who I meet, years later, and they still say they remember stuff, which is very humbling to say the least. So, yeah, I want to thank you all again for that. That makes this all worthwhile at the end of the day. That you can take away something that'll keep with you forever. Well, I just wanted to say that here right off the get-go. But you guys can feel free to fill in the comments. How could I forget how roasted I got right? Bro, cool dad. Priorities, okay? Priorities. Like my priorities with hashtag, very important priorities. Okay, but priorities, yes. Trying to get you back on track. Remember, cool dad, you got to set a good example for your kids. So, you kids may not be old enough now, but eventually, somewhere down the pipeline, you got to be the if you're gonna be the real cool dad, you got to be dependable when it comes to education. Very important. You can help them with the homework. You could do bonding time with your children. All very important things that you can set yourself up for in the future. I can guarantee that, my friend. But yeah, I'll leave the forum open to comments or anything that you want to talk about. I don't have a problem with that. Last class, I think I ranted I ranted for a good half an hour over the football in the Premier League. That was crazy. Hey, Columbia, there you go. With the full ride? Oh, congratulations, cool dad. That's awesome. Congratulations. That's awesome. Oh man, Columbia is a very nice school. Film school, heck yeah. Very nice, very nice. You can learn to take film and edit, and yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Legit. That's really cool. That's pretty cool. Any particular part of film you want to be participating with? Like, for example, is there a role in like a movie crew you want to be a part of, or you want to actually do screenwriting? Okay, very good, very good. Yeah, there's so many roles to fill in a film. So many roles. So be a screenwriter. I respect that. I respect that. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's today I have feel good vibes all over the place. All over the place, feel good vibes. Okay, that's fair. I got it. Like I said, it may be the last class, but it's still, again, you guys feel free to post your comments, whatever you like, in the chat. If you guys want to say something to me, if you guys want to make comments, or if you guys are going to put stuff on Rate My Professor, whatever you want, then you guys can just tell me outright. It's fine. Anything is okay. Good things, criticisms, bad things. If you tell me I smell, I'm like, that's fine too. I don't mind that. So, you still don't know what path you want to take? It took me a while, Anna, myself. I mean, sometimes it doesn't come right away. Oh, you ready to meet a month ago? Oh dear. Oh dear. Anna, I'm gonna say this. This is true. Most people change their majors about 2 or 3 times. Don't forget us when you and your crew win the Oscars. Hey, respect, Wade. Hey, by the way, good morning, Wade. I'm doing really good I'm really doing really good this morning, Wade. How are you doing? This is the last class for Math 102, if you can believe it. Absolutely insane that we have made it 4 months up to this point, Wade. Unbelievable. Relax, this isn't the last class forever last class. This is just the last class for this class. I'll be back in the summer, of course, doing some summer courses 4 days a week. So, that'll be next on the horizon for me. But, it's not like I'm going away forever, I promise you that, Wade. You're gonna definitely see pop-up notifications saying that I'm online, okay? That isn't gonna change. I'd like to thank the Academy and my Math 102 class. Now let me go back to Anna's comment there for just a moment. Anna, there's a lot of paths you can decide to take. You don't have to set yourself up for one right now, but do something that you may or may not be interested in. I did a lot of different jobs before I settled on one that maybe I would like. That was math and computer science, but I didn't really like computer science that much. I was just encouraged by my mom to do it in reality, but it went well with math, so I was like, okay, let's give that a go. You can literally do anything you want there, Anna. I mean, it's up to you on what you want to be. If you want to do a focused path, or you want to keep trying to feel things out in different fields. That's nothing wrong with that, and there's no shame in that whatsoever. You know, no shame in that whatsoever. So even if you haven't decided here after one semester, that's fine. But what's weird to me that Chibs isn't your last name. What? No? Every time I see Malik in my graphic, I'm like, who's that? Hey! Yes? Yes, my name's on the syllabus, yes. And still Ali Malik at the end of the day, that still ain't gonna change. I think people are so used to the Professor Chibs name at this point that the fact that I made this name like over a year ago just to is kind of weird. Well, yeah. I mean, I have to put my name on it. I mean, still got a name on the roster at school. Sad anime music. This may seem like it anyways. cool, cool. Wait, what? Cool guys walk away from explosions. This is so true. But Anna, I want to encourage you to try anything and everything. You know, that's what I would like you to do. Try anything and everything. You know, yeah, just try something and see what you think. You know, maybe you won't find everything to be super exciting or super fun. You know. Whoa! Time out, Anna. A lot of the things that you will be doing here, like you know, are going to be related to doing your associate's degree. You could get your general associate's degree and at least get your electives out of the way until you do decide to do something that can be your potential major. I would say that if you're going into your second year here, you know, after this semester, then you know, do consider maybe narrowing down your choices to maybe a top three that maybe you would want to do, and then kind of deciding which one you feel would be the best fit for you. You know, sometimes you won't find your passion until later, and that's perfectly fine. You know, you're going to go at your own pace, and you're going to go at your own pace at the end of the day, Anna. You know, so don't compare yourself to anyone else. You are who you are, Anna, and you're gonna do you're gonna do what's necessary in order to be satisfied and happy at the end of the day. Remember what it's all about. At the end of the day, picking a major is a field of study that hopefully can lead you to financial independence. You know, and you got, of course, that's the whole goal: getting a job, being financially independent, and then you know, getting those things that you want at the end of the day by working hard and earning it. You know, that's essentially what it's going to be about. So always something that, you know, the more knowledge you have, the more you can fall back on just in case if things do go south, and they can. Let me tell you something about that, Wade. No, Anna. Anna, it's your life and your choice, okay? Nobody's going to force you to go down a certain path necessarily all the time. You know, you know, just try and go down a path that you think that you can, you know, you can learn yourself into. You know, you can. It'll be maybe for you. It'll be a slow roll to get more interested in that particular major, but it's something that maybe you want to go down and just explore and find out. Why not? You know, Wade, it's kind of interesting because most people in my family, um, is like, because you usually get three choices when it comes to people in my culture, when it comes to jobs, and it is doctor, lawyer, or engineer. That's what you get: doctor, lawyer, or engineer. Usually IT guy. So that's what it usually boils down to. Those three top jobs: um, doctor, lawyer, and engineer. So that's why computer science. And it's like, okay, you could be an IT guy. My mom wanted me to go to computer science. Then when I decided to be a math teacher, My mom was incredulous. She's like, how could the heck did you be a math teacher? You could have been a doctor. You could have made so much money. You could have been a lawyer. You could have made so much money. You could have been an IT guy. You could make $60,000 a year. And it took a long time for my mom to finally understand because I kept telling her the same answer. It's the same answer I always tell you. The reason why I do this job is not for the money. I don't do it for the money. I do it because I like it, because I love it. It's what I love to do. It makes things more exciting. It makes things more fun. I'm not a guy who can sit behind a cubicle all day and do office work. I've tried. I'm not good at it. I'm just not part of that atmosphere. Money isn't everything. I want quality of life. You know, quality of life is more important than having $100,000 in my bank account. Maybe I won't die with a lot of money. Fine. But I lived the best life that I could by doing the best that I wanted, by doing what I wanted. So a lot of my time may be sitting behind a desk like this and streaming to you. But look how much positive impact I hope I've made upon you. I find that to be much more valuable than just collecting money, you know, over and over and over again. I mean, like I said, it's nice to have lobster and steak every single day for the rest of your life, but if that's all you're doing, then okay, you know, at some point, it just tends to not have as much meaning as it used to. Yeah, I understand that they can't. Yeah, they do. Okay, okay. To be fair, parents want your life and security, want you to raise a family, whatever. Like, I get it, but all right. The issue is that today, let's be real here for just a moment. Is that today the circumstances for the millennial generation and older, and actually younger, I should say, has drastically changed. It's drastically changed where you are fighting a larger uphill battle to be financially independent. You are fighting a battle that your parents never had to fight. Okay? That maybe not even I had to fight as much as you have to fight. Like, you have to work more to get certain things that you possibly want. Like, minimum wage hasn't changed in a very long time, but the prices of goods and services certainly have. And that means that you have to work even more to even get those same things as you had from before. Heck, even paying rent or paying your bills, you're living check to check, you know. And these are circumstances that were brought about over time because, you know, obviously corporate culture has changed in the past 40 years. Those are the uphill battles that you constantly have to face, and you have to push back against, you know. So, you know, you have to I understand that for people who are millennials or younger, that's what they're kind of working with right now. And it's not the nicest thing to look at. I'll be honest with you. I don't like the fact that you have to fight such a large uphill battle. I remember, you know, like I said, my first job was Mickey D's, making $4.35, which is 10 cents above minimum wage. But even at $4.35 an hour, you could live still pretty decently compared to the prices around you. You could still possibly pay, you know, rent, and you could, you know, you practically live in check to check still at that point. But still, you could pay some rent for a place back then. You could buy some groceries, you know, maybe a little bit of groceries. I mean, heck, I remember when $20 could pay, you know, for half a cart worth of groceries. Now, $20 at a grocery store ain't going to get you jack. So, you know, those kind of things that people kind of have to face every single day are things that I totally recognize for younger generations. That are things that maybe I actually didn't experience all that much until today. And to have that kind of perspective is very important because I want you to fight for everything that you deserve, that you earn. You know, you're fighting against a system that's trying to continue to push you down, and that's not correct. No, you should have an opportunity to thrive and succeed, and I want to be sure that I put practical knowledge in your head to actually be able to accomplish that. You know, like I said, the more knowledge that you know, kind of behind the scenes, kind of that's in front of you, again, will make you more aware about how to kind of put yourself in a position where you're going to be independent and do what you want without having to worry about, hanging on by a thread, every single day. That's very important. So, I like the old. Nah, that's okay. Wait, like the old formula, as I like to call it, doesn't work as it used to anymore. Like finish primary school, which is most people do, then go to college on the timetable. Get married, like cool. I want all the good things. Yeah, well, I will say that with the current structure of how things are going, I guess I'll ask this question here, and let me see if people want to get their opinions. I remember asking this question earlier in the semester, so I'll get people's opinions now in regards to it. Is that um, with the current climate that the way it is, and I'm not talking political climate here. More so, I'm actually talking about kind of the financial climate and how corporations treat workers and whatnot. Would you want to start a family underneath these conditions? I like you could have a significant other, right? You could have a wife and everything like that, or wife or husband or whatever, or spouse. Doesn't matter. Okay. But would you want to start a family? We haven't gotten to college. Well, yeah, college debt is certainly a thing. That is a big hampering thing too. College debt is ridiculous. But would you want to start a family? Would you want to have children? You know, that's actually a very important question here. In developing countries like the United States, would you want to have children in this current financial climate? Let me get your opinion about that. What do you guys think? Think that you think it's worth it to have kids, or you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, do all that? I know it's too late for you. I know it's too late for you, buddy. But let me ask you that question there, cool dad. If you had another, let me ask you that question. If you were to go back in time and you know what you know now, would you want to have children now? That's not a knock against your kids. It's just like, making that choice with your significant other and saying, "Hey, I want kids or I don't want kids." No, that's kind of like my question here. You guys give that a think. Let me know. What's your opinion about that fact? It's okay. So the answer is yes, but only after some time. Like attitudes to starting families have changed drastically. Yeah, that's a reason, right? Cost of living, maybe handling a child is very large. It's a lot of stress, it's a lot of extra money that you have to pay for. It can be very stressful, 100%. A lot of people are opting not to have kids for that same reason. Again, just the cost of living is already high enough for yourself, so having it supporting an extra body in the house is already tough enough as it is. Which, of course, has a big trickle down effect as a result. These little things like that, or even big things like that, certainly can add up over time. But the more you're aware about it, then you say, "Hey, this is a problem. How can we fix that toward the future?" Those are the kinds of things that, at least recognizing the problem, that hopefully will lead to solutions later on down the line. You know, so that's what I'm hoping for, is that you guys, being the next generation, will find those solutions. And hopefully we'll have a better country where everybody can live in relative comforts, as best as possible. That's what I'm hoping for. That is my hope. But, um, I'll let my sister have the babies, and I'll and it's like and it's like the only babies I need are fur babies. That's it. Fur babies. I'm done. You like walk away. You're like you're like, "Hey sis, how's it going? Just had my third kid. Cool. I have my third fur baby. I'm better off." don't seem so bad. I feel every parent, like, seems like they just eat, sleep, poop, and pass a lot. I mean, it seems like. Babies don't seem bad. I feel every parent that eats, sleep, and poop. It costs a lot of money. Well, that's something that you have to consider, right? Before you make a child, you have to consider, can you provide for that child? That's really something that you have to be very careful about. Is that, can you provide that for that child, and can you put forth that time commitment to raising that child, until they're ready to leave the nest, which in these days happens to be later and later and later than it used to be. So I have a baby niece, and I always ask my sister if she needs something. She is always saying diapers. Yeah, diapers are getting more and more expensive. Diapers are very, very, diapers are super expensive, are getting more and more expensive now. What is the average price of diapers now? Because I've heard that the price was actually going up rather quickly due to inflation. So, average diaper cost. Well, according to this, it says like 70. According to this, it says $70, $80 a month in the first year of having a child. Um, $70, $80 a month. So I will switch screens here for just a second. So show you this. So it says here that recurring costs, the most obvious ones being diapers. The average baby goes through 8 to 12 diapers a day, which can set you to $70 to $80 a month, or $900 a year. Yeah, well, newborns definitely poop a lot more, since they have no control over their bowels. So that makes perfect sense. Yeah, you're starting to get, once you get into the potty training stuff, and they start to learn how to use the restroom. Of course, those costs will naturally go down. But obviously that takes a little time to kind of get there. So. Yeah, I'm sure it's a big cost though at the end of the day. $900 a year for just diapers. Not to mention, of course, you can't forget one other thing here. What's this average cost per month? So, wow, that's actually pretty old. $7.96 a month. Holy cow. Um, JD coming in early. Woof! Look at that. I didn't expect to see you here, JD. Woof! Welcome to the early show. Look at that. How you doing? If you have a question, of course, go ahead and ask, JD. Yeah, there's other things you have to consider. I've heard horror stories. Yeah, well, babies are gonna cry. That's just what they do, Like, that's what they do. They cry. That's gonna be pretty normal there. They're gonna cry. I think maybe a little over. I don't think we changed 4 or 5 times, 8 to 12. Yeah, I guess that's true. I will say this though, there's a lot of accompanying costs there as well, Cool Dad. So a lot of the accompanying costs are also is also fairly important. So, like, the baby powder, you got the crib, you got blankets, you gotta get the new clothes. At least the clothes for growing infants aren't too hard to get. But they're, again, the costs just add up over time, and you get all these little bits and bobs just to try and take care of the child as best as possible in the first few years, and that does tend to cost a lot more money. Goblins are very expensive. How does one find the probability of time intervals? Time intervals? You talking like if you got a question there, is there a specific question from a section there, JD, that talks about time intervals? What section was that from? We talked about that. I gotta remind myself though. Let me take a look. Yeah, kids are gonna be expensive nonetheless, but still. I know everybody says you get a Section 8 one. Oh, okay. You're talking confidence interval, not confidence intervals. You're talking sample mean. All right. Whew, that was loud. Sheesh. Sheesh. Okay, let's see here. Did I mess that up? Hang on. Does my voice sound different? Hang on. Does my volume different? Can you guys hear me a little better? Eh. Oh. Can you guys testing 1 2? Do I not use normal CDF? Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna use normal CDF there. That's correct. So what you're gonna use there specifically is, because this is sort of sample mean. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Well, my voice has grown. Well, thank you very much. I don't know why I'm hearing that. Okay. Thing. Let's try that. There we go. I pushed a button. There we go. All right. Okay. Oh, it's the question with the geyser. Okay. I know what you're talking about there. Because I think that there was like 10 randomly selected ones, right? And something akin to that. All right. Let's go ahead and do that here. Okay. So I need the calculator for that, of course. So you only need to make one adjustment there, JD. Like in reality, you just need to make one adjustment. So the adjustment that you have to make here, if you hit the stat key here, and you go to how am I blanking out? Oh yes, right. Okay, I'm almost blanked out there. All right. So you hit second in vars here, and you want to go to normal CDF, and then you want to put like say, let's say I think the geyser problem here. Yeah, this is Old Faithful here. So you're given a normal CDF here. Says, all right, what's the probability that the randomly selected time interval is larger than say 95 minutes or something like that? So say 95. If it's like the probability is bigger than 95, you say upper would be 1 e to the 99. Okay. And you put the mean here, and the mean here would be, in this particular case, 85. Now, the only other thing that you have to keep in mind here about this is if you're given a sample size here specifically, JD, if you're getting a sample size here specifically, all you have to do is put the standard deviation here. In this case, it was like 21.25 in that problem. I'm reading it off the book here. But you have to divide that by the square root of the sample size. So, unlike if they took 20 sample sizes, then that's the adjustment that you have to make there, JD. And then you just paste that in, and then you get a probability out of it. And then that's how you get that there for the with the mean, standard deviation, and a sample size given. That's all you got to do. Otherwise, there's not much more to it other than that. There is not much more to it other than that. Unless you want there to be more than that. But, The answer is no. There's not much more to it other than that. Hmm. Any questions about that? Hopefully that was really pretty easy. The one I have is talking about random sample size and how is more than. Oh, you're talking about finding the sample size? But finding the sample size didn't have anything to do with that section in particular. That was with like confidence stuff. Yeah, so that's what I just did. That's what I just did on the calculator there. That's like if the probability was like bigger than 95, right? Let's say the probability was bigger than 95 minutes, right? And I had a sample size of n is equal to 20 with a mean of, again, 85 and a standard deviation of 21.25. That's what you see there on the screen. Is basically exactly that. You use normal CDF. The only adjustment that you make, like I swear, it's not as complicated as it makes it out to be. You just have to take the standard deviation divided by the square root of the sample size. That's what you have to do. It's just dependent on however the question's written. If it's bigger than 95, it could be less than 95. If it's like less than 95, for example, then all you got to do is just change your lower and upper values there, JD, and you could be like, okay, that's again, oops, like -1 e to 99, up to 95, and then just keep the same two values if it was say less than 95, and then you'll find out a probability associated with that. So it just depends. Oh, why did I put the same thing? Hang on. How did that put it? Supposed to say -1 e to 99. That was weird. Okay, there we go. I don't know why it gave it the same thing again, but whatever. All right. So it just depends on how the question is phrased. Whether again it's more than, less than. You just have to make your adjustments to the lower and upper, and of course your adjustment to the standard deviation. You're going to have your final answer for that. So hopefully that helps there. Any question about that? Make sure that you're just still using normal CDF, just making a couple adjustments. No big deal, I promise you. Oh man, already 40 minutes. Shoot, time goes by fast. Boring. Let's say a random sample of 11 and time interval more than 90. Okay. What's your mean and standard deviation, JD? Like, I don't have enough information. You have a random sample of 11 and an interval of more than 90. What's your mean and standard deviation? I just need to know what that is, and then you can make the adjustments there. Okay. So you just do second bars. So if you're saying more than 90, you go 90. 1e to the 99. Put in your mean of 79. Then you put in your standard deviation of 23 divided by the square root of 11. And that's it. That's all you gotta do. There's nothing more to it other than that. Then you could paste it in. And there you go. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Got it. Cut and dry, simple as that. No problem. But I'm here to help. I was blanking in the mean. Yeah, it's just the same mean as before. That's no problem. It's all good. It's all good. Yes. Yes. There we go. Alright, anybody got any questions or comments, please feel free to ask. 100%. Feel free to ask and comment and anything. Anna says posture check because Anna's like, I only see your face. I don't like the top of your head. Like, you don't see the mess that's around me right now, but, well, that's okay. It's all messy, man. Living like a single dude every day. Yes. Can't believe it. Cannot believe it. I absolutely cannot believe it. Have I ever been to Iceland? I have never been to Iceland. Well, that would be a nice country to go visit, to be perfectly honest. I heard it's really nice over there. I heard the people are really cool too. The population's pretty, like, what? 190,000 people in Iceland? Check. Drink of the day is the cranberry Concord grape. Yes. What I got from Ocean Spray. That's my drink of the day. Now, I will be having okay, so let me give you the lowdown here for just a moment. So the lowdown here is, let me look up the population here. Oh, 356,000. Oh, for some reason I thought it was much lower. All right. Anyway, so I'll be having a stream here at 6 o'clock Central Time. All right, that'll be my Math 120 class. And I was asked by a student because apparently I made some comment in that class that I would drink some shots in that class in particular. All right, and because I'll be driving in the middle of the day, it's probably not a good idea to do it on this stream anyway. So my drink of the day in the for that 6 o'clock class is you're gonna watch me do some shots of a soju. So I'm gonna go out to H Mart this afternoon and go grab some. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. What's the referendum? 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 I'm a little confused. Referendum of what? Not sure what that. I mean, if we're having a vote about something, I mean, I don't know what it is, but you can tell me, JD. I have no idea. That'll be for the my 6 o'clock class. So if you want to show up for that stream and watch me take a couple shots, I can do that. You can watch that for being the drink of the day. Oh, that stuff's gonna be so strong. I haven't drank in a while, so Yeah, soju. Soju, which is like Korean sake, if you want to kind of call it that. That's what it's asking, yeah? What's the referendum? I don't. I tried sake the first time in a short while ago. It was all right. Yeah, you know, it takes a little getting used to for sake. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what referendum. You have to look at the context of the question there, JD. I can't answer that question. Look at the context of the question and see what it's asking you. If all you read the problem carefully, make sure that it follows the follow there. I like my ambers like whiskey and scotch. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I drink my share of on occasion I drink like Guinness or I like dark beers. It's just kind of like my thing, I guess. But I like Blue Moon as well. Pretty good. I got it something with okay. Oh, you're doing that's the next chapter over with the one prop Z test. Yeah. Yeah, Guinness is water is pretty good. Yeah, water is pretty good. Anna's like, in reality, water is a really good substitute for anything. I'd be like, yeah, that's pretty true. I try a lot. Obviously, on this stream, I try a ton of different drinks here. Some of them the same, some of them not. But you know what? Water is always the good staple to go back to, just in case. So 100%, 100%, I'm on Anna's side. Tea is absolutely the best drink on the planet. 100%. I love tea. I absolutely love tea. Tea is tea is tea is a tea is a treasure. A treasure. I like me my milk teas. You know, I got tea in the fridge too. Straight green tea, bold, not bold, unsweetened, sweetened with milk, and sugar. Yeah, I mean, there's there's I don't know how else to tell you. There's so many different types of teas. It's crazy. So I don't know if you've seen this before. Here, I'll show you a special brand of tea. You might have seen Kashmiri chai before. I don't know if you guys have heard of Kashmiri chai. But I'll show it on stream here, of course. So Kashmiri chai has like turmeric in it and stuff like that. Get some pictures. So this would be like a noontime tea over in Kashmir is a region that typically is in dispute between India and Pakistan. But anyway, as a specialty brand of tea that they make. Takes a while to make, but is absolutely outstandingly delicious. What is my favorite food? Wow. It's a tough one, actually. I'll be honest with you, Anna. That is actually a tough one. Of course, everybody can say pizza and stuff like that. That's fine. But a food that I like to eat a lot, man. That I like to eat a lot, and it isn't like the simple pizza and stuff like that. Mac and cheese, yeah. I mean, we all have our spirit food, but is that our favorite food? Favorite food is a little different than it's just like, you know. Now, one of my favorite foods is yeah, one of my favorite foods that I like to eat. It has to be made well. Um, so I'll show this on stream as well. So this is one of my favorite foods is nahari, which is like a beef curry, uh, a beef curry with beef chunks in the middle, as you can see there. You eat it with some naan. If it's made really well, it's absolutely outstandingly delicious. One of my favorite foods there. I love anything with like really good cooked ground beef. Um, so like So like for example, ground beef samosas, for example. Um, you definitely have those. So the ground beef samosas, absolutely outstanding. Butter chicken, butter chicken also very good, on high on my list. Uh, butter chicken, absolutely outstanding food. Okay, you can't go wrong. Um, let's see, chicken. Let's see, chicken tikka kebabs or chicken tikka masala. The kebabs are really good, pretty tasty. So, I mean, I have that quite often. If I go out to a certain restaurant, I'll have that quite often. You mix that in with some, all right, outstanding. I know this is a lot of home cooked food and stuff like that, but it's so good. It's just I've grown up with that for so long. I do miss it because I don't cook at all, but on occasion I'll go get that stuff there outside of the regular pizza hamburgers. I don't want to give you like a typical answer like, oh, I like pizza and hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I like those things, but if I gave you a different take on that kind of answer, then it would be a more appropriate answer for like a favorite, for like favorite food, you know. Um, let's see. There's so many good foods out there that I've had. It's just, I've tried samosas for the first time in Ethiopian. This is all mini. This is all gyros are very good. Yeah, here. I don't know where the foods came. A lot of these foods are from India, Pakistan region. So if you go to an Indian Pakistani restaurant there, Cool Dad, you're gonna find a lot of these different types of foods. Definitely true. Let's see. This one here. Let's see if I can find this here. Actually, this actually is the dinner one, right? Yeah, that's the platter, but go to dinner. Yeah, so if you go to Pita Inn, Pita Inn is a restaurant that is in Mundelein and I believe in a couple other locations, maybe Buffalo Grove and Naperville. Anyway, you could get this, which is the spicy chicken tender entree dinner thing. This is like this price is obviously not the current price anymore. It's now like 11 bucks. But you get three of these spicy things. Of course, it's made fresh with the jasmine rice, lettuce and stuff with a couple pieces of pita and the sauces. It's one of the best outstanding deals. If you like spicy food, I'm gonna tell you this stuff is bomb. All right, absolutely amazing, amazing at Pita Inn. They do a really good job, really really good job with their spicy stuff. Big fan of the spicy, so that's me. I'm a huge spicy guy, so I gotta have my food like super spice. I know some people can't handle that stuff, but I gotta have super spicy food in order to like, to inject that kind of flavor into certain foods. I gotta have the spice. Certain other foods don't need spice, but certain foods absolutely need the spice in there. You know, like you go to Popeyes, you get a spicy chicken sandwich as opposed to a regular chicken sandwich, and it's just like night and day. It's like night and day. It goes from like, it kind of goes pretty decent, and then it goes like, wow, this is really good. Spicy chicken, dang. You know? That sort of deal, you know? What's the best Pakistani or Indian restaurant in the area? Actually, there are several. Um, there's several of them. So let's go over a few here. One's downtown, and I know that may not be necessarily the area, but one of my favorite places that I go to from time to time is a place on Devon Street downtown, which is called Sabri Nahari. As that is where I get my good stuff from. That stuff is pretty amazing. It's one of my favorite restaurants downtown that I will drive an hour and a half to go to every once in a while. Prices are very reasonable and absolutely excellently fresh food that you will get there on a daily basis. Another place that I've been to rather recently is a place called Kolachi. Kolachi, and that's the food there, but I want to go to restaurant. Restaurant. And where is it again? I need to go to maps for this. This is pretty close by. Yeah, here we go. So it's in Carroll Stream. That's where it is. That's right. Close to Carroll Stream, Glendale Heights, in and around that area there. Very, very good. Very, very good there. What was the first step to the Agresti formula? That was with the P being equal to X plus 2 over N plus 4. If you click on that button there, JD, if you click on that blue button, it'll give you the formula there. It'll give you like a P, and then it'll also give you a formula there. But you have to find that first P first. So make sure you follow the formula there exactly. You'll have to also include the critical value as part of that process. Okay. Yeah, you can leave it as a fraction, but your final answer will be decimals, of course. If you're going to use the fractioner as part of your calculation, then that's fine. But you're going to eventually convert everything into decimals, you know, once you put everything together, so. Yeah, so this place here is really good. This place here, Kolachi, is excellent there. I really like this place a lot. On the calculator, yes, that is correct, JD. You do it step by step. Do it one piece at a time. Make sure you put every piece together there. Okay? So it's like, again, if you're doing it on the calculator here, then you're doing like P, let's say, you know, I'm just making stuff up here. So let's say P times 1 minus P. That's what you do first. And then you divide that by, let's say that the sample size here is 17 plus 4, because that's part of the Agresti method. And then you take the square root of that answer. So you hit square root and then second and the negative key to use the previous answer. And then you're going to get your standard deviation. Something akin to that is how you put it step by step for, say, the standard deviation part. That should work out without too much trouble there. Also is a pretty good place there. Oh yeah. That place is pretty good too. I like that place. So if there's another place I can certainly recommend, Sampurna's Indian Flavor. Now this place isn't open. This place is open. It's basically a hole-in-the-wall restaurant. Okay, yeah, no problem, JD. This is a hole-in-the-wall restaurant that's over by Harper College. But this place, when it's open, their food is actually pretty good. It's very underrated because it's, again, a hole in the wall, but it is a great place to eat. So definitely one of the hidden gems in that area. So I definitely recommend Sampurna's as well. As well as, let's see, what else? I think Priya Indian Restaurant is also good. It's on Wise Road. That's also a pretty good place. Certainly, I would highly recommend that place as well. The food is pretty good. It's pretty good. So, and I'm sure that I'm missing a lot of others. There are a ton of restaurants, Indian Pakistani restaurants, everywhere in this area. So, I mean, you could probably find one that you're gonna really like. As you can tell, there's a lot. New Delhi, Udupi, Pul Mirchi. I mean, there's a ton to really select from, but those are the ones that I think that are really good off the top of my head. So those are the recommendations I can give you, certainly. Of course, if you go downtown to Devon, there's like a whole host of restaurants. I can also recommend one more place, though maybe not for food. one of the very interesting things downtown is if you go to a place called Tahura. Now Tahura is Indian and Pakistani where you can get sweets. It is a definite sweet store. You walk in, you get the blast of sugar in your face. All right, that is what this place is known for. All right, so again, it's a pretty nondescript building, but let me tell you, those sweets are pretty darn amazing. All right, people literally come from all over the country to come to this place, buy sweets, take it back with them. Okay, like you want your sweets. You want your sweets, you go to Tahura. All right, and you go get yourself some sweets. Like literally all over the globe, people will come and try and get stuff from this place. It is a madhouse in there every time you go in. But the sweets are so good that basically you're never gonna complain. So if you have a huge sweet tooth, you know, definitely Tahura is definitely your place to be if you want to get some. Yeah, you're talking Indian Pakistani sweets. So let's take a gander here. There's a lot of different types. Yeah. If I can ever figure out. Yeah. Hang on a second. All right. So all right. So here's a good selection of their sweets here. Let's look at some images. So so you can create gift boxes of sweets. They have halwa, they have cashews, they got gulab jamuns, they got samosas, mangoes. They got like every single thing under the sun for like Indian sweets and whatnot. So they've got laddu, which is kind of like sweet balls, kind of like looks like this. It can come in a little bit more of a form like this. Let's see, halwa. Always like little sweet brownie type of things, you know, with some nuts put in. It's also really good. Yeah, there's also different ways you can make it. So as you can tell, there's not just a way, but different ways. About this stuff here, I would say the best way to describe this is like crumble, like small little sweet crumble cakes, is probably the best way to put kalakand. So they're like sweet little crumble cakes. They're pretty tasty. I don't think I've had this stuff before. I'm not a huge sweets guy, so I'm not surprised I don't have this. But they got some good. They got some good. Yeah, they got Butterfee. Butterfee does not to be confused with Barfy. No, this stuff is actually pretty good. Stuff is pretty legit. A lot of people know baklava. They have different types of baklava that you can certainly buy. A lot of people know about that. Bengali, like again, gulab jamun, which is very very popular. This is like a syrupy kind of wet kind of sweet, but it's like really really tasty. It's like biting into like a sweet bun with like syrup on top. That's basically how you kind of want to describe gulab jamun. And you could get it in like really big quantities, or you could tell how many quantities baklava sends me. There you go. Let me tell you, there are so many different types of sweets. It's ridiculous. Well, you want to find a good Indian sweet? Yeah, you're gonna find it there. I know jalebi is pretty popular with a lot of people. So I mean, you could find everything under the sun in that place. And like I said, a lot of people go there to literally, to literally buy gifts for everyone else. Like no joke. When it comes to certain things in the community, yeah, there's certain things that people will travel long distances for. Kristen, hey professor, I'm heading out. Thank you for another. Hey, thank you, Kristen. Thank you for another wonderful semester with you. You're done with math classes. No. Okay, but who knows? Pop up. Absolutely, Kristen. You're always welcome in my stream at any point in time. Any point in time. You know the drill. Any point in time, anybody is welcome back in the stream. Even if you're not my student anymore after today, doesn't mean you can't pop into a stream when I'm online, and certainly say hello and participate if you like, or just make a snide comment or make a funny comment at me. I don't mind either way, because that's always welcome. That's always welcome when it comes to what I think. You're like, you suck. I'm like, well, at least I won on one front. I ain't gonna complain. No, thank you so much, Kristen, for putting up with me for 4 months. Actually for putting me up for 2 semesters. I really appreciate it a lot. I'm glad you had a wonderful time. I really am. And I wish you the best of luck in the future and having a good summer, of course. If I don't see you in the summer, that is. So thank you again. I really appreciate that. It's super kind. Anna's leaving me as well? No! Okay. You be sure to come back and take my class in the fall? Okay. I mean, I'll be teaching stats again in the fall, but this summer I'm teaching college algebra and business math. That's what I'm doing this summer, is doing those 2 classes in particular. Only those 2 courses, but I'll be on here for 4 days a week for the summer semester. Schedule always is going to change, so that's how things are. Yes, yes indeed. 100%. Yes indeed. Thank you for the thumbs up, Anna. You gotta go? Cool, Dad. I know you gotta go. You know, I know that you're gonna hit that to go live button, on your Streamlabs. You're gonna go online, play some Mario to celebrate, right? You're like, I don't have to listen to this dude anymore. I'm like, oh my gosh, this dude, like, all he did was harass me for like the last month of the semester, like. And I will turn to you and be like, cool, Dad, I totally did. There's no regrets and no shame. I'm with you 100% on this sentiment. Oh, that's so bad. Thank you so much, Cool Dad, for being part of the channel. Thank you so much for being, for put up with me for 4 months. I really appreciate it. That's super, super kind. Thank you very much. In all reality, that's the best I can hope for, is that you had a great time in my class and had some fun. You should take it that way. I'm gonna see you guys. Some of you guys are streaming, I know. So if you guys stream, then I'll certainly pop in your streams at some point. So untraumatized. Well, that's good. I've untraumatized math for you. Well, that's good. I'm glad that we've taken away a lot of that nastiness that usually math presents. You have lots of good memories. That's good. You won't be a stranger. All right. Please don't be. I gotta make sure that everybody's taken care of at the end of the day. That's the most important part. If you guys, I always extend this out to everybody here, but if you need help at any time, please feel free to go ahead and ask. If there's something that I can help you out with, please ask, and I'll be more than happy to help you out if necessary. Okay. I have no problem helping if I can, then please please let me know. I have again, any comments, any complaints, anything that you want to throw at me, just feel free. I'm here to help you. Even after this class is over, people have. Teacher and now chef, man can do it all. Oh, where did I'm no chef, my dude, Connor. I wish I was a chef, but I know that I am not made for cooking. I am not made for cooking, Connor. I hope you're doing good though, Connor. I hope you're having a good afternoon slash evening where you're at, Connor. So yeah, but we're looking at what you're looking at here is sweets. This is a sweet store in downtown Chicago. Um, what's P, JD? Whatever P is, that's gonna be your P0. So if P is equal to 0.26, then you're gonna have if you're gonna have and you're gonna have n here, n equals like 30. Then just plug in the numbers there. 30 times 0.26 times 1 minus 0.26. Something akin to that. Then you just have to figure out if that's bigger than or equal to 10, because I think I know what problem you're trying to do. But just take a look at what P is, take a look at your sample size, plop in the numbers, and then there you go. You got it. Just chilling, watching Premier League before training. Yeah, I've got a lot of things about to say about the Prem yesterday, or not yesterday. Monday, Connor. I went on a huge rant about the Premier League and how how there's no parity in the league whatsoever. So, if you want to go back to my previous stream, you can see literally the Prem, man. But you know what is exciting there, Connor, is that hashtag United are moving up to the 8th tier of English football. They have been promoted by the FA and now are in the Isthmian North. And I can't be more excited about that. This season is going to be lit. I ain't gonna lie. LFG. LFG? LFG? I haven't seen LFG in forever, man. Like playing MMOs again. Ah, that kind of LFG. But the first thing when I think about LFG, I think about MMOs is like looking for group or looking for guild. That's what I think about. I'm so old when it comes to that. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. I know I'm old when I think that's the first thing I think about. Holy cow. 2 years. Yeah, it's been 2 years. 2 years, and these boys definitely deserve it. I think they had, what did they say, the third most points per game? Yeah. The third most points per game in the pyramid. I mean, how can you go wrong with something like that? I was actually kind of surprised that Walthamstow didn't actually get promoted as well. They had 2 pretty good seasons as well. You got it wrong? I don't know what your problem says. If it's for the test and the final, I can't help you with that question, JD. But if it's a homework question, I can certainly help you with. But they do give you a P, and they do give you, or if they don't give you a P, they usually give you like how many people answered yes to the question. So if you said like X, how many people said yes to your question? So it's like they said, they said, 65 out of 100 said yes to your question, then that's going to equal 0.65, or, whatever your mean is. So your mean proportion here, your mean population proportion. It's the practice test. Which problem from the practice test, JD? Did you finish the final, by the way, JD? Or are you trying to redo it again? Yeah, let me bring that up here. You haven't started the final yet? I hope you've started the final because it's due in like 11 hours. There are 45 questions. It's going to take you some time. Oh, you have started the final. You have or you have not started the final? I'm a little worried. Yeah, no. Cutting it fine indeed. I ain't gonna lie. That's true. I hope you've started at least. Alright, which question from the practice test is it, JD? Because you gotta get it done in like 11 hours. That means this is gonna be your one and only chance, or at least if you're started, I hope you get it done by that time. Remember, you have to save it and submit it before 11:59, otherwise it won't count. I know that if you're cutting it close, this is gonna be it. You know, I'm just gonna point that out there. Well, it's the final exam, Connor, so 45 questions is a fair amount for a comprehensive final. Plus, I gave like 3 weeks of which to finish, so plenty of time. Hey, Milky, how are you? 45 questions about the same as a GCSE paper? Oh, well, I did not know that. 15 questions a week? Milky, Milky, do you... I know you haven't been online. I heard that you have no internet where you're at? I heard that on James's stream the other day. I think James said... Okay. I know James was mentioning somebody not having internet for like a week or something. I thought that may have been you. I don't know. Because I didn't see you online for a little bit, so I was like, oh, maybe Milky lost his internet. I don't know. But if you got your internet, that's great. That's all that matters. I was like worried. I'm like, oh, is he typing from his phone or something like that? I'm like, oh yeah. Like, all right. Let's see, 10-2-19. Okay, let's go over there. All right. Okay. 10-2-19. Let's do that. Oh yeah. Potatoes. Alrighty. It's just the first part? That's fine. Alright. Alright, let's work this problem out. Alright. According to certain government agency, for a large country, the proportion of fatal traffic accidents in the country in which the driver has a positive blood alcohol content is 0.37. Suppose a random sample of 105 traffic fatalities. Certain region results at 49 involved a positive BAC. Does the sample evidence suggest that the region has a higher proportion of traffic fatalities involving a positive BAC at the 0.05 level of significance? So here for this one, like in this particular case, the NP times 1 minus P times 0, again you have 105 samples here, and you have 0.37 as your mean. So, or population mean. So all you do is do, on the calculator here, you're just going to do straight up, so all you're going to do here straight up is you're going to do 105 as your N times 0.37 times 1 minus 0.37. And so here you get 24. So this is going to equal 24 point, how many decimal places? 1. So 24.5, which is bigger than 10. And the sample size here being in this case here is less than 5%. Okay. So you need it to be less than 5%. That's one of the other assumptions here. And the sample can be reasonably assumed to be random. Yes, that simple. Is this given to be random or not? Let's take a look here. Oh, it is given to be random actually, because we have given a random sample here. So everything is satisfied. And there we go. We got it. Then you just have to determine your null and alternate hypotheses. So you're going to have a p here being equal to 0.37, which is our mean. And we want to see a higher proportion of traffic fatalities. So here we have p here is going to be bigger than 0.37. And that will take care of almost everything. Just have a couple more parts to go. Have you seen that the University of Leicester in the UK fired a bunch of anti-capitalist and sociologist professors, okay, and researchers whose research is not suitable? Do you mean socialist professors instead of sociologist professors there, Milky? Because it would make sense if sociologist professors are a little different than socialists, I guess. The sociologists just talk about yeah, exactly. Was there an issue what the sociologist professors were doing? I understand indoctrination in universities and colleges. I get that. People that seem to be anarchists or very anti-establishment were fired. Wow. So I guess that kind of answers, like, I guess the question is, though, I understand of indoctrination, of certain ideologies and universities and colleges and stuff like that. I get that. I don't really espouse any of that because, well, heck, I'm a mathematics professor, so I don't have any skin in the game when it comes to certain things like that. But other subjects, though, are going to be a lot more subjective as opposed to being objective based, like my subject is. Do you think that it's too much, or shouldn't you have two sides of an argument at the end of the day? What do you think about that, Milky? Like, even though you have an establishment, right? Should it just be like pure establishment rhetoric, or should you have both sides kind of being represented? They did a review of 44 staff, found that 16 were sketchy. After having face-to-face 16, narrowed down to 12. Now, the question is, what do you mean by sketchy, right? It's very subjective to say somebody was sketchy. Exactly, how would you define someone to be sketchy in this situation, since you're reviewing a person's ideology more than so? I would say if it's their teaching ability, that's one thing, but the problem with the university is that the two sides of the argument are not provided as one side. Okay, I see your point here. Okay. And that's a fair point to say, where it's like, if you don't offer the other side because you suddenly don't, one side feel it's way too offensive to the other side, then really there's no meeting of the minds. I get that. That makes sense. That makes sense. I would say that in that case, if people want to, express their ideas, that's fine. You just have to be able to be willing to listen to the other side of things, or again, other points of perspective or points of view. Although you could say, hey, one person's putting out progressive ideas, I think that it should be kind of more of an open forum. Says, does the what does the other side kind of have to say, or what does another perspective actually say? I will say that. One thing that I don't like, I'll be honest with you, and I think you probably would agree with that, is that that's the only way. Not is that your entire grade in the class is kind of revolves around kind of that way of thinking. And if there's and if there's an alternate way of thinking about something, then it's just not accepted and you fail the class. I think that when you're dealing with a subjective subject like that, and I've heard situations on both ends of the spectrum that it's just not fair. That's just not fair. Like, you have to write in. For example, you have to for example, one of my old friends talked about when he was doing his undergrad, and he told me that basically he had a professor that was that more leaned toward a white supremacist kind of perspective on things, and he wrote all of his papers in respect to a more of a white supremacist kind of perspective, and he got an A on all of his papers. Whereas other people, wrote, probably different types of papers, and they got different grades other than an A. So, and I'm like, well, he wrote to the audience as opposed to writing it, about how he basically felt. And I feel that if you put yourself in a compromising situation, because he felt he was pretty he had to compromise, even though he didn't feel like very comfortable with it. But he's like, well, if I'm going to get the best grade possible, then, I'm going to have to kind of roll with the punches and be able to adapt to my audience. So I'm like, okay, that's fair, like, I understand you don't agree with it, but yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Is like, that kind of puts you between a rock and a hard place. So yeah, that's something that can be something really difficult to deal with. Um, you guys often hold services for deplatforming people and removing any point of view. Yeah, I will say that is that I understand that you may or may not agree with alternate points of view. Milky, I will say that if you don't agree with alternate points of view, that's totally understandable. But yeah, they should be presented, and then yeah, have somebody think for themselves. I agree with that part for certain. There's certain points that they bring up that I agree with. There's certain points that may not be I would not completely agree with. No. But I think I agree with you when you say everybody should have a chance to think for themselves, and just being able to uh, remove different opinions or different perspectives, for consideration is also not conducive to actual discourse. So totally agree with that. You gotta like look at different perspectives, and then make a decision after you've listened to the different perspectives. And it's like here in the United States, there's things on both sides of the aisle that I certainly agree with. You know, in my opinion, I think most people are moderates more than they are, all Republicans or all Democrats. It's just that, a lot of times, sometimes you have to pick between one or both, when it comes to political parties. But I would say, most people are kind of like middle of the road. They agree with some on this side, they agree with some on the other side. You know, I mean, it's true. The only bad part is that you have to pick between, like, if you're doing politics. The only bad part is there's only two choices. So if those ideologues for both sides of the party happen to go a little bit more extreme, really. Humans follow trends, and unis as being a particular way is trendy, so they're attempting to vote. Thank you, Hazelnut. Appreciate that. JD, are you still there? Want to be sure that you're still there, JD. Thank you, Hazelnut, for the hydrate. I hope you're doing good here today. Hopefully, you're happy with your results there. I would say, universities should be a free flow of ideas. I think that's agreeable that there should be a free flow of ideas. I think people who stop those free flow of ideas are not very helpful to that conversation. I don't think that Milky. I'll be honest with you. I don't think you need to get rid of them per se, other than you need to kind of tamping down the rhetoric and tamping down the harshness of what's considered offensive. Because the more and more you push the line, then the more and more it tends to get more extreme. So I'm like, you got to meet somewhere in the middle. I get where they're coming from in terms of their decision. It makes sense to me, but doing too much of it is also not good as well. As long as you have a healthy conversation, a healthy discourse between all parties involved in said subject or whatever it is, then you have a good mix, But shunning an entire opinion because you don't agree with it doesn't make any sense either. So, reality, I think you would agree. Reality has a much more reality. Just because you shun the opinion doesn't mean that opinion doesn't exist. So, it's like you can live in an echo chamber and people can tell you you're right, but it doesn't mean that the other side still doesn't have an argument to say or to tell. You're not going to listen to it, of course not, because that's not something you agree with, whatever that topic may be. But at the end of the day, it's still going to exist. Whether you want to go, put your ears and be like la 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 la. So it ain't going to change. I just like I don't know if you've seen this before. One of the things I really liked about certain things is when they have like debates over certain topics. I really like that in the UK. For like at certain universities, they have kind of debates between a kind of a conservative viewpoint and more of a progressive viewpoint, and they kind of go back and forth using evidence and having a nice little kind of town hallish type of thing. Or again, like an actual debate kind of competition type of thing, if you want to kind of call it that. I kind of like those. Those are actually rather fascinating. Silence opinions, truths, and history simply because it makes you uncomfortable. You disagree. The people in history don't stand up to modern expectations. Yes, I agree. There are going to be people like that, Milky, though. So I mean, the one thing you want to avoid, though, Milky, one thing you want to avoid is you want to avoid everybody being in an echo chamber. The toughest part, though, is that how would I put this? You want to be in a place where you're accepted, okay, where you're part of something, right, Milky? And the only way you feel that you can be part of that something, because I mean, in this day of the age of the internet, a lot of people feel lonely. They're kind of sitting behind their keyboards. They're kind of not, they're not doing a whole lot. The pandemic certainly affected a lot of people. In order to maintain those kind of connections, sometimes you compromise your beliefs, or maybe sometimes you compromise your opinions to make it fit with the other people in, say, a discussion or forum. And it's it goes going back to your point. Your point says, well, people follow trends. Yes, absolutely true. And this would be like a trend that they follow in. And eventually you find yourself in an echo chamber, only being able to agree with only one certain viewpoint, as opposed to possibly taking other things into account. I feel that society has lost the idea you are allowed to disagree with somebody. I agree with that to some degree. I still hold out hope, Milky, that there's going to be places where people can disagree and not have to be like strangling each other in order to actually get across their ideas. I I happen to be a believer that there can still be civility in disagreeing with each other, you know, and that we don't have to be like, we can agree to disagree, or we can understand each other's viewpoints and agree to disagree, as long as we can certainly talk those out and understand from that. Well, that's why I don't do a lot of social media, in all honesty. Algorithms on the internet provide you content. Yeah, well, that's true. That, of course, again, the algorithms there, Milky, just lead to the echo chamber. Like, exactly, they form the echo chambers for profit. Exactly, that just leads to the echo chamber. It's what we call that's a clear bias, and I'm not a big fan of that kind of selective bias when of what the algorithms do, which is they just study your trends and they just kind of run with that. JD, are you there or no? I don't know if you left. Just need to ask JD. Oh, JD left. Okay. Fine, JD. Like, I think that again, I'm not a big fan of the echo chambers. I'm not a big fan of the ultra rhetoric. I don't like. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't. I don't. I think that things have to progress in some way, but I don't think that it needs to be as extreme as it points out. Do I think that there's inequities? Like Milky, like the inequities here in the United States are quite apparent. Um, so I mean, there's a lot of inequity here in the system. Um, for especially for the younger generation. I was kind of mentioning that earlier before you hopped on the stream there about how there's a very large uphill battle for like millennials or people who are younger compared to like heck even my generation. 'Cause I'm Gen X, so and even to like the baby boomers and stuff like that. So I I know it's very different. It's a very different financial atmosphere. It's a very different societal atmosphere than than what I or other generations before me actually have had to grow up in, and it's very very different. I would have to say though, one thing that I did appreciate in some respects there, Milky, is that um, older generations had some time to kind of digest opinions as opposed to like instantly react to opinions. So, it's an interesting comment there, Milky. I'm going to say this: a massive increase in tribalism. I don't think that that's true, but I'm going to say it a different way. I'm not saying that it didn't exist. I'm just saying that tribalism was always there. So there's an increase in tribalism? No, tribalism has always existed, and it's always been rather high. So I don't feel that there's any massive increase because it always existed behind the scenes, right? Like you could even say tribalism if tribalism based on race, tribalism based on financial, your finances, like how much money you make, tribalism based on no, I know, yeah, the tribes, everybody always wants to differentiate themselves, compartmentalize themselves based on some kind of metric, right? I'm just saying that it's always been there. It's always been there. It's always something that exists. It's always that compartmentalization. Who do you hang out with? Well, you can forego race if you say, hey, what, I don't care about what you look like. Some people say, well, I'm going to forego race in place of um, hey, how much money you make. Okay, so everybody kind of wants to differentiate themselves in some way. It's like, hey, don't worry about it, this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, it's just always how it is. So I think it's just much more apparent. It's much more apparent than it used to be, because that divide is much more easier to see than it was in the past. So those divisions that you see, are much more apparent. Like when I was talking the other day, and we were we were talking about how we looked at a report, right? And we saw the words. I saw the words on this school report that literally said white British, and I didn't understand what white British meant. Now I understand what it meant, not what it means. But I feel like, wow, that's a really separating term from that of other British citizens. I'm like, okay, it's very interesting you would write that in an official kind of school inspection report. I was I was a little taken aback. I'm like, okay, but if you're talking about the students in general, why are you separating out white British from the other disadvantaged students? I'm like, well, okay, I don't get it, but that's what they wrote. So I'm like, okay. I feel like humans are much more easily influenced. Well, yeah, I think Milky. The reason why is because it's much more of a snap judgment kind of thing, right? When you read stuff on Twitter, when you read stuff on Facebook, when you observe things in real time, you make snap judgments, you make snap calls. You don't have time to really. In today's society, you don't have time to digest the information. It's pretty much you see it, you forget about it after 48 to 72 hours, and then you move on. And you move. It's always an instant reaction, instant reaction, instant reaction. I mean, look at TikTok, right? TikTok, like 10, 15-second videos, and it's just instant reaction, instant reaction. And everybody knows you make money off of TikTok on the first day of promoting the video, and then after that, it doesn't really have any meaning after that. Hey, welcome back, Dylan. But at the same time, I think we have more information or ways to get the information to make an educated decision. That's true. I agree with that, Planet. I think people should have more information to make an educated decision. The issue that I have in this context, though, is that there's too much information all given at the same time, and that you need time to kind of process that information and then make an educated decision. To make a proper educated decision doesn't require 5 seconds. It may require 5 minutes, 5 days. But I feel that everybody's kind of being socially engineered through social media to kind of go snap, 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 and just suddenly make an opinion right then and there, and then that's the opinion you have to go with. I don't want to be like, it's like has to be like this. That's why in my generation, back in the 90s, you had that time. There wasn't internet back then. The internet was still just a very, was a thing that existed, in our imaginations. Cell phones weren't even a thing, really, except in cars or whatever. So, now it's about profiting and as Milky says, profiting, maximizing those profits. TikTok and a blog post bring light to an issue. Sure, you can bring light to an issue, but then what? It moves out of the news cycle, and then you forget about it. It even existed until somebody mentions it again, like sometime later, and then you forget about it again. Again, it's that overload of information, and because you didn't even have time to process it, means that it gets lost in the ether again until it's been brought up again, and it gets shown the light again. That's really what it comes down to. I'm also sat in an area where I'm not meant to. Okay. I'm also volunteering to do. Okay, that's fine. That's fair. If you mean you sat in an A area, what is that? Okay. It's up to the viewer to research. Yes. I always encourage that here in this class. At the end of the day, I show you mathematical concepts, right? Putting a metric into something that can hold evidence, like when we do like hypothesis testing, right? That's an actual numerical concept that you can actually put real life to, right? But at the end of the day, you have to be able to you have to be able to process that and decide for yourself. I always want to give everybody as many options as they possibly can. That's like the most important thing. Decide for yourself, think for yourself. I have an opinion, but my opinion is not law. My opinion is not like the right thing, the right opinion necessarily. There are things that we are not going to agree with, and everybody in this class, there are things that you're not going to agree with me about. There are things that we are going to agree with about. But I think that's what makes discourse and proper civil discourse very important to have. So we understand each other. Well, yeah, exactly, Milky. 100%. Lying by omission is a huge issue in the media, of course. You tell those half-truths. We did tell you the truth, but yeah, there's always that but at the end. Desmond asked for 5-5 question 2. Absolutely, my friend. 100%. Let's get that question up. Where is it here? Yeah, when you leave information out, then really you're not being genuine. But again, the reason why you would do that, Milky, in particular, the reason why you would do that is because of the fact that, again, you want to promote a narrative, right? A particular opinion you want other people to use. Again, that's, as you know, Milky, that's used in the media all the time. So it's always about narrative. Athena asked a question. Absolutely, go ahead. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, look, that's something I learned when I moved out to Japan. I really understood that there's different opinions that I need to start looking at. Because America, as it stands, is just a small box. It's a box where everybody's kind of inside and just kind of shuttered out from the rest of the world. We kind of look at the rest of the world and we say, okay, that's them, but we're Americans and we're just kind of insulated in here, away from the issues that really affect the rest of the world in a lot of different ways. When I moved out to Japan, I realized that that wasn't true. That there's things that we have to acknowledge that show that maybe the inside of the box isn't as great as we thought it was. Because from an outsider's perspective, there's a different way of looking at it. Everyone has to trust certain sources? Well, the answer is, Milky, you have to prove that you're a trusted source. Number two, you always read between the lines. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to trust every source under the sun. Otherwise, you're going to fall underneath the trap that the person that you're talking to or the person that's writing the article is always going to be honest and up forth and right. And they could be, right? But it's like you could put 99% of your trust in someone, who's writing something out. But always leave that 1% of doubt, because of the fact that that'll always make you make sure that's just like, make sure that yes, you're thinking things through and you're making sure that what's being said is correct by direct evidence if you want to look into that particular topic. That's what I give. I give 99%, like 99.9% trust, but I'm always reserving that 0.1% for doubt, and then I want to see what's read between the lines. If I think that it's pretty logical and fair, I'm like, okay, I can roll with that. But if not, okay. You know, you get to pick and choose, though. You can't process everything. You're right. You can't process everything, but you pick and choose, and then you see, how reliable that information is going to be. Okay, so let's go to this question here for Desmond. All right, suppose Grant is building a playlist that contains 13 songs. How many ways can Grant arrange the 13 songs in the playlist? Okay, so in this case here, Desmond, this is going to be, let's bust out the calculator here for just a moment. Yeah, it's here. I'll read off what you guys have said here. You finished the final. Congratulations, Athena. Congratulations. All right, so Desmond, in this case here, since you have 13 songs and you have to arrange it every song here, then the answer here is going to be 13 factorial. All right, and that'll be 13 factorial is what it is here, Desmond. Like in this particular case, it'd be 13 times 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 times 8, all the way down to 0, or all the way down to 1. Pardon me, not 0. So you could do it this way, the manual way, if you want. That's perfectly fine. I know this is the long form of doing it, but you can do it this way. And so you can arrange 13 songs on a playlist this many ways. So 622702800, and we got it. Okay. So that is the answer to that question there. Or you can even put it in a calculator here, which is 13 factorial. So you want to go to hit the math key here, go to PROB, and you see factorial, which is that exclamation point, and you get the same exact answer. So there you go. 13 factorial is your final answer there, Desmond. Can you add whatever points I have now to see if I can retake the final again, eh? Yeah, so the easiest way to answer this question is basically just draw a picture. It's super helpful, right? It's super duper helpful. So for example here, like the easiest way to do it is basically saying if you got 13 songs, okay, then you have 13 choices for the first one, right? For the first song. Then since you used one song up, you have 12 choices for the second song, 11 choices left for the third song because you already used 2 other songs, 10 choices, and then you just work your way all the way down until you only have one song left that you can select from. And you just simply just multiply each one of these, and that is essentially going to be 13 factorial for shorthand notation. And that's how you can actually justify that answer for that. So it's just kind of going down the line, boom, boom. As you can only pick one at a time here. Okay, so Athena, I'm gonna let you know about that. I'll send you a DM through Discord, Athena, in regards to your grade. I'll have to put that together here during the break today. So I'll let you know later on today, because obviously I don't want to tell you on stream, and I would take a little time for me to kind of set up and put your points in. So give me I'll let you know in the afternoon here after 2 o'clock, because I'm not gonna show it on stream here. So I know that's a private thing, so I'm not gonna show that on the stream. Yes, but in social media there usually is your Cold War. Oh, what? How does Cold War get corrupted? I just updated that today, like a 40 gig update, but I think it was just rewriting all the files. Yes, but in social media, there's usually isn't enough time to recognize the source, let alone question it. That's true. I agree with that. Additionally, the companies want the most profit. Yes. Easiest way is social engineering and manipulation. Yeah, that's very true. Very true. Very true, Milky. I agree with that. Easy social engineering. Trust your preferred source, but why take it? But take it with a grain. Take it why with a grain of salt. Otherwise, you can feed the narrative. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Exactly, Planet. I don't trust any source of information to be the source of information. If I looked at if you looked at sources of information, I could look at CNN, which is much more of a left-leaning site, and I could look at Drudge Report, which is much more right-leaning conservative website. So, go to question 5. Oh, you got that one? Okay. Hydrate, you got it. There we go. Thank you very much, Athena. Yeah, so for me personally, I always kind of have to look at it from a hey, you know, I have to look at it, carefully, at certain pieces of information. I can look at it very carefully and then make a judgment based on what you see and everything like that. I don't want to form I don't want to form snap opinions, necessarily that could potentially be harmful. So Snap opinions don't really help all the time, especially when it comes to important subjects that need to due consideration for every single portion of for all parties involved. So I liken it in some ways. I liken it to like where let's say a couple gets divorced, right? And they're fighting for custody for the children, right? Well, you can't just say one side automatically wins because, oh, she's the mother and she'll take care of the kid better than the father, Or again, oh, he's the father because the mother did this, that, and the other thing. Like, look, you have to look at every consideration. It's very important. I look at the news in Spanish, so I understand that it's more leftist. Okay, and I also more left, but I try to understand. Yeah, so the thing that I like to do is that both sides have solid points. There's things that both sides have said that are just absolutely ridiculously dumb. Okay, like if I look at Democrats and Republicans, like both sides have said stupid things and dumb stupid things because some of them have their head so far up their rear end. I don't know what to tell you, but when it comes to certain topics, both sides have points. Like, of course, being financially conservative in an economy where inflation is a big problem. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh man, this is so right and this is so but it's like, look, unimaginably both sides are dumb, but at the end of the day there's some parts that they do get right and there's some parts they both get right. That's why I think like most people in the United States probably would want to be more in the more moderate. I would say moderate. Milky, you would be considered a moderate if you're slightly right or slightly left. It's not like it's like you're taking both sides into account, but you're not being on both at huge ends of the spectrum here. It doesn't have to be an extreme. It's just like you're kind of in the middle. You kind of listen to both sides, and both of them have some solid points that can be helpful for society. For you, Milky, it'll be in the UK. For us, it'd be in the United States. I think it always comes down to like making the best kind of compromise, and I don't think anybody's compromising these days, which is very frustrating for everyone. And people is yeah, maybe maybe you're a bit of an isolationist. That's fair. Admittingly, though, I would like you to get out of Kent for a little bit, and just explore the world. There's a lot more perspectives it can offer. Some good, some not so good, but that's what always comes on the table there. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I was hoping you'd say that. I want to come to Kent though, to be honest with you, Milky. I want to see if I could take like a cheese tour or a wine tour or a food tour. Don't, it's terrible. Wait, what's wrong with cheese? I heard UK cheese is dude, UK cheese is amazing. So what? I don't care about the crime. Live in the live Look, I live in the burbs here, but I could tell you if you go to the west side or south side of Chicago, it's going to be worse, okay? It's not great, all right? You get used You go with it. You go with me. That's cool. I could always use a companion to go along with me. Absolutely, 100%. Let's go. Man, I love different cheeses and stuff. Holy stuff. Holy cow. I could do that stuff all day. See, 6-1 question 6. All right. I just is what about I like cheese as long as they put a whole pot of cheese to the food. What about like a fondue fountain? Like a cheese fondue fountain. Yeah. Being held up by I can't say that's great. They say emulation is the best form of flattery, Milky. I will say that. What question was that? 616. Okay. All right. Here. Go. Oh, let me change that up. All right. Let's hit similar question here. All right. OG cheddar bangs hard. Man. Let me tell you. Any cheese in my life, like cheddar grower. Man, I'm gonna tell you, we got Wisconsin up north, and they make some darn good cheese. But again, the variety of cheese you get, especially freshly made at the farm, you know, like you go to Wisconsin, it's freshly made at the farm. If I go to UK, I know their type of cheese is very different, but it's equally as excellent and really wonderfully tasting. Yeah, you know what? You gotta go out and do stuff. Like, it's important. All right, Desmond. So it says in the game of roulette, a player can place a $5 bet on the number 23 and have a 1 out of 38 probability of winning. It's terrible odds. If the metal ball lands on 23, the player gets to keep $5. The player gets to the metal balls. The player gets to keep $5 played to play, and the player is awarded an additional $175. Otherwise, the player is awarded nothing, and the casino takes the player's $5. What is the expected value of the game to the player? If you played the game 1,000 times, how much would you expect to lose? All right. Oh my gosh, fresh cheese. Give me, folks. Give me some fresh cheese. Oh, love me some fresh cheese. Man, how can you go wrong with that stuff there? If there was one place to visit, you truly. Wistman's Wood. Okay, it's a high altitude oak forest. The entire thing is soaked and full of adders, so don't. Okay, well, if it's full of adders, that's not good. That is pretty spooky. I ain't gonna lie. Oh dear, full of adders. Oh no. All right, let's put this on this half and half screen here. Okay, so we place a $5 bet. Now here's how it works, Desmond. What we have here is we have profit, okay? So let's think of profit here. So there's only two types of profit that 30 meters, dang, pretty tall. 4.5. So the profit here is you can make a profit of $175 if you win on a 23, or you lose $5 for everything else that doesn't land on a 23. So that's your profit there. What's your probability of making that profit? Your probability of making $175 is 1 out of 38. Your probability of losing $5 is the remaining probability of 37 out of 38. First of all, never play roulette, because roulette is a ripoff and worst game in the casino. I probably mentioned that before, but roulette is a completely garbage game, and you should never play it. It's always interesting what a population can do when it's isolated. Yeah, trust me, that's kind of true. Tokyo's kind of like that kind of city. It's a different kind of isolation if you live by yourself in Tokyo, but it's there nonetheless. It doesn't like yep. So we're gonna take 175 times 1 out of 38, and we're gonna add that to -5 times 37 out of 38 to get our expected value. Round to the nearest cent. If you want isolated state, you know, Milky, I'm gonna say this. I know that London's a big city. I could say Tokyo is a large city as well, right? One of the largest cities in the world. But there are ways you could be isolated even in larger cities. I know it seems weird, but it's like it's kind of weird. But when I lived in Tokyo for those 3 years, it's like you can find ways where you could kind of be by yourself. You know, there's no place like London. And then Milky says, my hatred for London knows no bounds. I mean, I could go there. You know, I could go. You go the full London. You'd be like, Milky, be like, how you doing, bruv? Everything great? Yeah, you know, they talk like a million miles an hour. It's like it's really. That's fair. All right, let's put this in the calculator here, Desmond. I gotta get this. I gotta finish this problem for you. Um, I'm just laughing right now. And, that's funny. All right, so if we add these together here, we get negative 26 cents approximately. So again, we're going to the nearest cent here. So negative 26.26 here. So, and we check that, and that's correct. Right is drain, yeah. The hard, and then multiply that by 1,000. That's correct. So if you multiply that by 1,000, right, you will expect to lose about 260 bucks. That's correct. And that's what you get. Bam. I know that every time hanging out with my friends, I cannot get out for the whole weekend after, so I can recover my energy. Okay. Yeah, it's very draining. The west of the country where my family come from are the true Brits. They're the hardiest to breed. I see. Milky showing the bias. I respect that. uh, Even though I did historical tours, it was still big in tourist groups. I mean, I can tell you where my family is from. You know, a lot of times, like in my family, they talk about, like for example, like if we talk about the older adults in our family, you know, my mother and her brothers and sisters, and you know, my grandparents when they were still alive. You know, most of the time in their friends, they always talk about Pakistan. It's always about Pakistan politics and Pakistan this, Pakistan that. Everything about Pakistan, India is like everything for the most part is Pakistan, India, or some other random, you know, current topic for the day. Um, but mostly it's about Pakistan and India. But I'm like, for me, I'm different. So I'd be like, yeah, I could talk about United States. I could talk about being American. I could talk about living in Japan. I talk about something, you know, it's just weird, you know. I just don't have like I don't have like a super, I don't have a super strong opinion about parts of the country. I kind of look at it from a more macro perspective. It's like, how do I look at America as a whole, you know, and you know, issues with America that can be fixed or acknowledged or fixed or things like that. I want to focus on those things there. Yes, the White House did get burned down once. Yes, that's correct. The original White House did get burned down by the Brits. Correct. The Battle of New Orleans, where Americans beat the British by bluffing. Yeah, the White House is the second iteration, not the first. That's a nice fact, actually, Milky brings up. Me and the boys about a leg of singing next to the. Oh, is this where the president is? Woo! Guess that happened. History is replete with inaccuracies. But there are things that definitely happened in the past. Remember, certain people get to write history, so history is really nice though. I mean, it's a good way to kind of look back and see what kind of mistakes people made back then. And you kind of look at it today, you're like, yeah. the. Of course, the Welsh do, Milky. Of course, the Welsh do. The oldest joke in the book. I think a lot of times, I'm gonna say one thing about that first statement there. I think a lot of times, a lot people, unless it's a small enough country, most people who live in like a particular country, particular area, tend to get more insular, because that's the environment that they grew up in, and that's the environment that they're very comfortable with. Unless it's a particular harsh environment, then of course you're gonna look more outward. But if you're in like a more properly developed area, then you're gonna be a little bit more isolationist and insular. I think that can be said applicable to developed countries as opposed to non-developed countries. Is that tends to be the case. Oh, that is actually pretty interesting. How long is that? How long is that trek? How long did that take them? So they travel the British Isles to meet the Celts and learn Druidism. I don't know if that has had stuff to do with Stonehenge, since that was an ancient Druid circle. Um, is there's I know that I believe there was more than one Stonehenge, or as like as long as because it's more of a ceremony. It was more of a ceremonial thing, right? Stonehenge is pre-Celt. Oh, pre-Celtic. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. And it's not Druidic. Okay, and then I'm totally wrong about that. When I grew up, it was Stonehenge was considered a Druidic circle. I was taught that. So, but if they found new evidence to suggest not, then I'm gonna go with what you say, because I haven't heard it. I haven't read about Stonehenge in a while, so I'll definitely agree with you there. Mostly they make the it's mostly they make either the pot culture or the Yamnaya. What are the Yamnaya? I've never actually. I'm gonna look that up right now. Never heard of the Yamnaya before. Interesting. Yeah, learns Yamnaya. Yamnaya people. Okay, let's see here. Yamnaya culture, also known as Yamnaya Horizon, Yamna culture, pit grave culture, or the Okra. Okay, late Copper Age to early Bronze Age. All right. So it looks like they kind of looks like they doesn't look like they were in Britain in terms of their map. Their map is more of a Eastern European kind of block here. Unless they came to Britain and then they built the circle. It would have been interesting to see. It's a great migration, okay. Very interesting. Okay. When did they migrate? Like the Anglo-Saxons after them. Okay. That's fair. 6 to question 6. Okay. Oh, that's 6. Uh, Alright, according to a study done by university students, the probability of a randomly selected individual will not cover his or her mouth when sneezing is 0.267. Suppose you sit on a bench in the mall and observe people's habits as they sneeze. There's a probability that among 16 randomly observed individuals, exactly 7 of them do not cover their mouth when sneezing. Okay, so, in this question here, Desmond, this stuff has stuff to do with a binomial CDF, okay, or PDF, just depends. In this case here, we're dealing with binomial PDF because we have exactly 7. Alright, so again, you'll need to use the calculator for this, because you're doing 2 different things. So be sure you put in the correct numbers there, Desmond. All right. We're going to go hit second in vars to go to our distribution screen. We're going to go to binomial PDF here since we're dealing with exactly 7. So there's 16 trials. P is going to be 0.267. And our X value here is going to be 7 for exactly 7. So in this case here, we get a final value here of 0.0676. Okay, and that's correct. Okay, now it says the probability that fewer than 4 individuals, note it says here, Desmond, you have to be really careful. It says fewer than 4. So it doesn't say 4 or fewer. It says fewer or fewer than 4. So what that means is that we're going to use binomial CDF here, first of all, because that's going to be less. But remember, binomial CDF here represents less than or equal to. So we're going to use 16.267. Those parts are the same. But the X value here in this case will be different. This is fewer than 4, which means that we're going to put 3 here as a result. And so here we get 0.3460. All right. All right. Now it says fewer than half of 16 individuals covering their mouth is surprising. So let's go ahead and figure out, see if this is an unusual event. So fewer than half, which is fewer than 8. So in this case here, we're just going to repeat the same process. So we're going to put fewer than 8, and that means 7. So fewer than half. And then we'll see what we get here. So fewer than that would be not an unusual event, so would not be surprising. The probability here is 0.9605, which is not an unusual event. Oh, what do they want me to use here? Let's try 8. See if 8's. Maybe they went a different direction there. I know what that is. 0.988. See if they use that. That wording can be really tough. Oh. Oh, one of my answers is correct. Okay. Definitely not an unusual event, because that would be less than 5%. Alright, let me check this one. Oh, okay. Why is mine backwards is the question. Please check that again. Why is that backwards? Fewer than half covering their mouth would be surprising, because the probability of observing fewer than half covering their mouth is that. That is... That doesn't make any sense. Not based on that wording. If I said more than half, that would make sense. Like, this would be surprising if it was more than half instead of fewer than half. Because fewer than half is definitely 0.9882, 100%. But if you said more than half, then you would get 0.0118, which is the opposite, the complement. That'd be from 9 to 16. So this wording has to be wrong in this case. Alright, so one thing to keep in mind is that this should really say more than half. That's what this should say. Because fewer than half, this doesn't make any sense then. I agree with you, Athena, on this one. This one here should have been rewritten, because the answers don't match what should be written there. Because more than half would be literally 1 minus this previous answer. That's literally what it would be. Oh, okay. I'll make an adjustment for points on that then. That's fair. I can easily add bonus points for that, so that's not a problem. I'll make those adjustments as necessary. Yeah, no, it's fair. No, that's fair. Bring it to my attention. I say it's fair. 100%. It's fair. So, because that wording is absolutely incorrect. Like, you could definitely get that wrong because the wording is absolutely is not is just wrong. So, if more than half makes sense, fewer than half makes no sense. So yeah, I'm with you guys on that one. So I'll make adjustments for bonus points and whatnot. I'll just give everybody a few points as part of your final. So thanks for bringing that to my attention. Appreciate that. See, we gotta be fair. That's gotta be this. You gotta be fair. Gotta be fair. If I'm not fair, then it doesn't do anything, and then it makes me sad. Sad like bananas. So sad like bananas. How good better we do? All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anybody got any more questions? They migrated and interbred. Okay. Desmond trying to knock out those last homework questions. Desmond, have you done the final yet? I hope you've started the final. Remember that's due in like 10 hours. Just saying. Get it done, Desmond. If you haven't done it already, that is. Had a rough go just to refresh. Okay. Remember, I want you, if you need the best score possible, you got 10 hours of which to finish. Remember, you do get 3 attempts, so if you had a first rough go, then hopefully the second go, you'll have to remember, you have to save and submit it before 11:59, otherwise it will not count. Okay? If you don't do that, then it'll be sad bananas for everything. It'll lock you out. And then it won't let you save and stuff. Let's check out today's sports news. The sports. Let's see. Cubs play at 6. Alright. Yes. I mean, obviously you could just submit, but you have to submit before 11:59. That's the rule there. Okay. So you can save. You don't have to do it all in one go. Again, because it's a save for later option, but you have to submit it before 11:59 for it to count. Okay. If you don't submit it before that time, then that's it. Then it'll count for nothing. So you're running against the clock if you're trying to kind of get that there. I didn't pause this. That's good. But just remember to finish the question you're on. You can't go back. Yeah, that's right. That's true. That is true. That is 100% true. Milky, did you get Cold War to finish? Hopefully it's updated, at least. Maybe. Them updates take a while though, I ain't gonna lie. Cold War is pretty notorious. Oh, I guess I can show that. I guess I can. Hang on a second. I need to hang on. Let me open that up and see if it goes. Let me open up this game here, ladies and gentlemen. Open up this game. With I gotta show this off. How much hard work. Hardly working hard work. 80s action heroes. Okay. Oh. Oh. Okay, just a second, folks. Yep. Questions 10 and 11 on the Chapter 5 practice test. Okay. Take a look. What is that? Alright. Need to look at this. Alright. Take a gander. Chapter 5 practice. For those. Alright, so this is 5, 4, 30, 30, 5, 5, 30. Do the first one, which I think was checking to see which one it was. No, not this one. Alright, hang on a sec. Hang on a second. I have to check that again. Why am I getting that wrong? Maybe I just missed it. Let's preview. Alright. Darn it. Alright. I don't care about that. Where is... Alright. Why can't I see that? Let it go. Alright. Which question is this? Alright. Look this again. Question 10. 5, 4, 33. 5, 5, 37. Right. 5, 4, 33. Yeah, I don't think this one's in the... It's similar to that of the homework, but it's not the... 433, 537. 433, 530. I'm gonna write that in chat. Give me a second. I'm just gonna I got this. It's just I just gotta put this together here really quick so I can answer the question with those exact problems. All right. Let's get up. All right. How do you cheese the system? This is how you cheese. Studied 5, 4, 33. Okay, so let's do that first. Alright, let's cheese the system. There we go. We got it. Alright. Okay, so, it says determine the probability that at least 2 people in a room of 9 people share the same birthday. Ignoring leap years and assuming each birthday is equally likely by answering the following questions. Compute the probability that 9 people have different birthdays. Alright. So then we're going to round to 4 decimal places. The probability so all we got to do here is basically want to figure out the number of ways that they all have different birthdays. So basically, I want to say, I'm blanking out here. That was shouldn't be permutations. Let me check that. That should be. Yeah, nobody cares. Also, nobody cares. Know that. Yeah, okay, so it's just 364. Yeah. Okay, fine. Alright. Alright. I had to do that in my... That was a pain. Alright. Now I remember. Alright. So all we're going to do here, since we have 9 people that we have to select from, then we have 365... Out of 365 days in a year, of what we have here specifically, and let me move. Alright, that's... Okay. So what we're going to do here first, specifically, is we're going to do 365 times 364. Now, you're going to keep doing that. So it'll be 365, 364, and you're going to keep going down the line until you have 9 people. So you're going to have 365, 364, 363. Essentially, in order to do this out, 364, 363, 362, 361, all right? And so on and so forth until you have the 9 people. So the way you want to do this is you do 365, you permute that with 9. All right, and then you divide that by 365 to the 9th power is what you get here. So if you do that specifically here on the calculator, let's go ahead and take a look at what that is. And so let's do 365 permute 9. Oh. And we're going to divide that by 365 to the 9th power. Yeah, it just makes things easier. I ain't gonna lie. 0.9054. And so that's what we get here for this problem. Oh. Come back to me, please. Where did you go, problem? Here we go. Alright, so we got that part fine. The probability that at least 2 people share a birthday. Now here's the interesting part about this question, Desmond. Is in this case here, you want the probability that at least 2 people share a birthday. So the way we want to do that here specifically is we want to go ahead and say, all right, well, there's too many cases where 2 people can share a birthday. So we take a look at the complement here. We say, well, the least 2 people. So at least 2 people here is 1 minus the probability that they are all different. So basically, this is going to be 1 minus 0.9054. So that's going to be 0.0946. So that's going to be our answer for part B here. You have to use the rule of complement. And that's our answer there for that first one. Any questions about that? What if it was at least 3 or something? If it's at least 3 or something, well then basically you have to take away take away where they're all different, and you do 1 minus that first one you got, and then you would have to subtract the cases if they were 2. So that's basically how you do like at least 3. So you would eliminate the cases where they're all different, and then you also eliminate the case where two of them have the same, only exactly 2 share the same birthday. And then if you have that, then you would find your probability in that instance. Now, in our cases that we're finding here in this course, you're not gonna run into that question. This is basically a way for you to use the rule of complements. So. All right, let's do the next one here. So you good to go for the next one? We can do the next one. 5537. Okay. Okay, good. 5537. All right. Go. All right. So companies whose stocks are listed in the stock exchange have their company name represented by either 2, 3, or 4 letters. Repetitions of letters is allowed. What is the maximum number of companies that can be listed on the stock exchange? Okay. So in this instance, since we can have a repetition of letters here, this is the important part, is actually the repetition of letters. So you can have 2 letters, you can have 2 letters in there, 3 letters in there, or 4 letters in there. Again, as we know, there are 26 there's 26 letters in the alphabet here. So what you're going to run into is, in order to represent 2, 3, or 4 cases, you're going to have 26 squared for the two letter case. Again, 26 times 26. You'll add that to 26 to the third power for the 3 letter cases. Again, 26 times 26 times 26, since you can have repetition of letters. Okay. And then you add that to 26 to the 4th power, which is basically, again, for 4-letter companies. And then that's all you're going to do on the calculator for that one. I'm going to see what we're going to get. So 26 squared plus 26 to the 3rd plus 26 to the 4th. And so here we get our answer of 475,228. So let's put that in and see if we got it right. All right, now we got it. And that's how we can go ahead and get our final answer for that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Got it. Ooh. All right. What? All right. Very good. Very good. Okay. Well, I guess that'll be the last question that I'll take here, as we are out of time. But this is the last class here for 102. Last moments we'll have of this class for 102. Everybody who's working on this test, I wish you good luck. Again, please be sure to submit before 11:59 here tonight. I want to thank everyone who came out here to the stream. We had wonderful conversations, and I love hearing from everybody. Everybody has something super positive to bring to the table, like a lot of interesting viewpoints, and certainly a lot of good debatable topics. I certainly love talking about those sort of things. It's super fun to hear everybody's opinions on those things. I want to thank everyone here today. I don't know how much more gratitude I can express to all of you. All of you, a very important part of making this as big of a success as it has been this whole semester. Thank you so very much. In all honesty, I want to thank you all so very much. You guys are thank you, Athena. That is super kind of you. That is super kind of you to say. Thank you so much. I don't know if I just thanks Desmond. I appreciate that. I didn't yes indeed. I don't know if I hope I've earned those words, thank you so much. You guys make it work. You guys make the dream work. That's how it works. So this has been so fun for 4 months. I'm hoping that all of you have had fun as well. A lot of people have expressed that they had, so I'm really happy to see that. I hope that everybody and I guess that's it. I guess that's all I can really say. There's not many other words I can really say at this point. I'm kind of all out of them. Because my effusive praise for I made math actually doable for me. I'm glad to hear that. Glad that at least something that was not so bearable is a little bit more bearable. That was definitely the idea. The most memorable class I can recall. Did I? Oh, well, that's really good. I'm really happy to hear that, Hazelnut. Thank you. Thank you for being here. You know, um, look, I'm just lucky to have you guys in my class. That's the fortunate thing. It doesn't come from me. It comes from you. All your positive vibes and all your positive energy, has turned it into something even more than just a class. And that's what makes it great. That's what makes it great right there. All of you make it great. So you guys are the ones uh that really have made this into a very memorable time. So I want to thank you first and foremost, more than anything else. All of you deserve not only a round of applause. All of you deserve a strong pat on the back for sticking through this for the past 4 months. I'm just really impressed that we've been able to put it together, on Twitch, on a on an internet platform for 4 months, and being able to make this happen. Yeah, absolutely. You come see me when I'm streaming. I'll be streaming, like I said, in the summer and whatnot. So I'll be streaming later tonight. That'll be the last one for a little bit, but still. Um, yeah, absolutely. Please stop on when I'm streaming. You're always more than welcome. Thank you. You made the class so much easier. My sister thanks you for making me smart. Oh no. You weren't dumb before. No. No, you were already smart, Planet. You're already good. Thank you so much, Planet. That's really super kind of you to say. That's really super kind of you to say. I I I I I I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Um, I don't know what to say. It's like things always say, all good things, they must come to an end at some point. But as I said earlier here, that the offer of helping out, even if I'm not your professor anymore, in an official capacity, doesn't mean that it ends. It means that if you need to reach out to me, talk, if you need to, I don't know, I've done letters of recommendation before or something. You can ask, and I'll be more than happy to provide one to you. If I don't get off my lazy duff, sometimes. Um, but yeah, you can ask, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. That's perfectly fine. Just want to sit and chill and just sit in your village and talk things out. Just kind of whatever's on your mind. Hey, that's what I'm here to do as well. So I don't mean, but I don't mind being a veritable vent/slash punching bag if need be. Totally understand if we just need to talk things through. So I'll be here for you irrespective of that fact. So if ever I need to be in that capacity, then I can be. That's not a problem. Wow, this is like so tough. It's so tough for me. I can't even begin to tell you. It's so tough for me. But you know what? In any case, I guess it's time for the last outro for Math 102. It's actually the nicest thing I ever. Thanks, Planet. I appreciate that. I guess the best thing to say is I've been there before, where you feel like there's nobody there to reach out a hand. I'm like, you gotta have, yeah, somebody's got to be out there to reach a hand out just in case. I think everybody needs one. So it's very important to have those people around you. And if you feel that there's no one around you, at least there'll be somebody who says that there'll exist at least one person. That person is me, and that's fine. Absolutely, Athena, that's very true. We all need an ear to listen to. Remember, don't keep your feelings bottled up, okay? You may be frustrated every once in a while, but please feel free. Feel free to speak out to somebody. Just get it off of your chest. It's the best thing for mental health is just to get those frustrations and get those get those negative vibes off your chest. You know, bad things can happen, absolutely. But again, we're here to talk things out. And yeah, life isn't fair all the time. But you know what? If you just express those frustrations, then you'll be able to move on in a little bit easier of a capacity. That's what I think. So, you know, healthy alternatives rather than bottling up those feelings and kind of keeping it in. I assure you one thing, people will understand, okay? They may not completely understand the situation, but people will understand the frustration and the feelings that you may be having at that moment in time. You know, it's like what Mr. Rogers said, you know, in his song. Says, you know, what do you do? What do you do with the mad that you have? You know, that's kind of like kind of the question people have to kind of answer. All right, now time for formal outros. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being part of this semester here. If you want to come back to my final stream here, that'll be at 6 o'clock here later today. Be taking some shots of soju. That's the point. In any case, thank you so much, everybody. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, for the last time here for 102, stay safe, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay sane. That's right. Take care, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful summer. I hope nothing but the best for all of you, and I wish for your continued success. And I hope to see you again some other time on a future stream this summer. I'll be back. I'll be back in the summertime. Okay. After today's streams are over, I'll be back in June. So next month in about 3 weeks, I'll probably be back on. All right. All the positive vibes. Love you all. Yeah, absolutely true. You know, absolutely true. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Have yourself a wonderful day. And if I see you in 3 weeks, then cool. If not, have a great summer, everybody. Take care. All right, everybody.